All right, hello everyone, and welcome to ESL 3-4. This week's topic is around town. We're mostly going to talk about eating out, a little bit about shopping. We're going to do a little tiny bit with dependent clauses, and we're going to use Google Maps to explore the world. So it should be pretty fun. So let's start with just some vocabulary. Of course, we have all of your different types of food and food groups, but let's talk about the places that you might go around town to eat. You might go to a cafe, or you might go out to a bar. You might visit the food truck during your lunch break. You might take your children to the ice cream parlor, or perhaps you go to the casino and try to win some money, right? And all of these places will have some sort of service, right? So we have like a diner and a buffet, and that's like usually like very basic service, right? Not too fancy, right? You don't have to learn all of these where the dishes go. And then we have a little bit better, a little bit nicer, they call it casual dining at maybe a cafe or at a nice restaurant, such as one of these ones that have invested in the fancy bubbles, right? And then we have what we call our formal places, right? So like a fine dining restaurant like Commander's Palace or something, or maybe your wedding banquet, or a retirement banquet where you would have a very formal setup and service style, right? So we have all these different places that we might choose to go out to eat. They have your definitions listed here, so read those over if you're not sure about the locations. All right, so let's use some of this vocabulary as we're talking in class. So we have our basic thing that we do when we go out to eat. We eat, right? So yesterday I ate at a restaurant, and tomorrow I will eat at the food truck, right? On my lunch break. So let's use some of these terms along with all of the other things, the normal verbs that we do when we go out to eat. At a lot of places, especially with COVID, we have to make a reservation. Then we have to wait to be seated. Then we read the menu. Then we choose your meal or our meal. Then we eat the meal. Then we get the check. We pay the bill. We leave a tip, and we exit the building, right? That's the normal course of things that you do when you go out to eat. But you can build sentences in the present, past, or future tense using these terms to think about, hey, who paid the bill yesterday, right? Or who will pay the bill tomorrow, right? What will you choose to eat at the restaurant? What did you choose to eat last night, right? So we can use those common verbs to build some sentences. They have in here a small conversation, just calling for a reservation. Read it over, and then on the next slide, they have some fill in the blanks. So kind of put your own thoughts in there. So what day do you want to make the reservation for? And how many people will you take with you, right? So practice that. And as always, say it out loud. All right, so now that you've made a reservation, let's talk about some ways to order like a local. So the first thing to remember is that you always want to be super polite when you go out to eat, and you want to ask for things, right? So instead of saying, I need a coffee or I want a coffee, we'll say, can I get a coffee? The people aren't going to tell you no. They're not going to say, yes, you can, or no, you can't. Their answer is going to be yes, but it's more polite to ask the question. Even if you want mustard for your pancakes, they will say yes, right? Unless they don't have mustard, but it's America, they probably do. All right. The other thing is the greetings. When you go to some restaurants, they can be very quick and abrupt, like at a very busy restaurant. They might just say, hi, what can I get you, right? And you might go to another restaurant and say, hello, madam and sir, may I please escort you to your table? What fine weather we are having today. Did you enjoy your day today? Right? So depending upon how you are greeted, that's how you should respond. Just match the level of formality of your server and the other staff at the restaurant. There also is always this question of for here or to go. So depending on the sort of restaurant, a lot of restaurants might just ask you at the beginning, is it for here or to go, right? So if it's to go, you can say, can I get this to go? Or I'd like the spaghetti and meatballs to go, please. Or can I have the fried rice and egg rolls for takeout? And if it's for here, you can just say for here or for here, please. right? And then they'll take you to your table. The other thing that comes up is how polite should you be? And is the word yeah impolite? It's not in the South. It really depends on how, and in America for general, it depends on how you say it. So if you are smiling, you are happy, you are paying attention to the person and they say, is that all you'll be ordering? And you say, yeah, that's good. No problem, right? Would you like to get this to go? Yep. But if you're like, would you like to get this to go? Yeah, that's rude, right? So it depends how you say it. So we just want to always be nice and polite because that makes our whole dining experience more fun, right? And but the other thing to remember is that we don't say yeah, please. So if someone asks you, would you like cheese with that? We would always say yes, please. Yeah, please is a little awkward. So we just say it without the extra please, right? Okay, there also will probably be some extra questions when you go out to eat, so you should be prepared for that. So if you order a coffee, they might ask, how do you like it? You like cream and sugar, or do you like it black, right? If you order eggs, I'm gonna say, do you want them scrambled or do you want them sunny side up? How do you like them, right? There's a whole host of foods that are cooked that way. And there's also some things that you might want something added or you might want something removed. So you might say, can I get a salad but no onions, please? So think about those things before you go out so that you're kind of prepared for those questions that might come up. And a great way to do that is to go online because nowadays most restaurants have their menus online. So if you before you go to the restaurant, you can look at the menu and kind of think about maybe what you might want to have or prepare for some of the questions that might come up or some of the questions that you might have for the waiter. All right, so let's practice this with a little bit of talking. The first bit is just a conversation to order a coffee. Read it over, and then on the next slide, fill in the blanks with maybe how you would like the coffee, right? Just trying to make it a little bit more personal and say it out loud to practice, practice, practice. You can also get a partner to help you to read the barista part, and then you be the customer. All right, we also have another one here from Doc's Buffet. So this is a restaurant's menu. Look at this restaurant and just imagine you were going to pick something here. So what items would you choose for your meal? About how much will your dinner bill be, right? And fill in the blank sentences. They're also on the next slide, a couple more examples of some things that might be said about going out to eat. Splitting the check is where two people pay, like I pay half and you pay half, right? So that's pretty common. You going to split the check when you go out? You have to think about that, right? So fill in the blanks and see what you would say. And then the last thing that we have in here before the reading this week is just a fun tech tip. So we put in some locations on Google Earth. You can click on these yellow points and they will take you to different cities. And then you can kind of walk around the cities and kind of explore on Google Earth and see what you can see and learn how to explore the world using Google Earth. All right, we're going to go on to the reading next. If you don't stick around with us, no problem. If you're up for reading, we'll be right back. All right, and thanks for sticking around for reading. The article this week comes from Breaking News English. Again, if you click on the link, there's a bunch of activities for you to do, and you can look at it also in the different levels. So restaurant bans customer for eating too much from September 20th, 2018. All right, well, let's get into this. A sushi restaurant in Germany banned a customer because he ate too much. The customer was an Ironman athlete. He ate at the restaurant in Bavaria last weekend. He paid $18.50 for an all-you-can-eat meal and ate nearly 100 plates of sushi. When he paid for his meal, the owner asked him not to return to the restaurant because of how much he ate. The customer told a local newspaper, "I'm banned because I ate too much." He said the owner left him feeling stunned. He told reporters that he was a regular customer at the restaurant. All right. What sort of athlete was the customer who was banned? Ironman. What does that mean, Ironman athlete? How many plates of sushi did the customer eat? How much did the buffet cost? Why was the customer banned from the restaurant? All right, part two. The customer ate a lot because of his Iron Man diet. He does not eat for 20 hours and then he eats until he is full. He never had problems eating at the restaurant before. This time, the owner told a German news agency that the customer ate enough for 5 people, and that was not normal. The restaurant waiter did not accept a tip from the customer. He said, "When I went to the checkout, I wanted to leave a tip, but the waiter did not want to accept it. The customer must now find another restaurant that provides delicious and good value meals." All right. Why did the customer eat so much? Is this the first time the customer visited the restaurant? Was the owner happy with the customer? What do you think about this situation? We'll ask that in this week's quiz, right? All right, as usual, there are 5 terms from the story with their definitions. Please read them over. And then you also have the fill in the blank sentences. So just kind of fill them into the blanks there. All right, y'all, great story this week. Talk to you soon. Enjoy your live meet. And we all look forward to the future with you as a student. There's also a little bit of extra in here this week if you're interested to take it a step further. Much of the same concepts, but using some shopping terms. All right, bye, y'all. See you soon. Peace out.